Vespera's journey through the cosmos came to an abrupt and violent end as her spacecraft plummeted towards the alien planet of Crix Salon. The control panels flashed urgently, a chaotic symphony of red and orange lights, while alarms echoed through the narrow cockpit. Strapped tightly to her seat, Vespera fought to maintain control, her six-fingered hands moving deftly over the controls, attempting to stabilize the descent. Despite her efforts, the ship smashed into the rocky terrain, metal screeching as it tore apart, debris scattering across the shadow-drenched valley. As the dust settled and the echoes of destruction faded, Vespera emerged from the wreckage, relatively unscathed thanks to her ship's advanced safety features. She took a moment to orient herself, her large, expressive eyes adjusting to the dim light of Crix Salon's twin suns peeking through the thick cloud cover. Her first breaths on the new planet were heavy with the scent of ionized air and alien flora, a stark reminder of her isolation. Surveying the scattered remnants of her once proud vessel, Vespera felt a pang of loss but pushed it aside. Survival was her priority. She retrieved a survival kit and a portable scanning device from the wreckage. The scanner flickered to life at her touch, casting a pale blue light over the nearby debris. Methodically, she began to assess her resources, salvaging what technology she could from the ruins. The landscape around her was forbidding, with jagged rocks and sparse vegetation under a perpetually overcast sky. Vespera noted the planet's harsh beauty, even as she catalogued the immediate dangers it posed. She knew that her survival depended not just on her technological prowess, but on her ability to adapt quickly to this unfamiliar world. By nightfall, Vespera had erected a makeshift shelter using materials from her spacecraft. The structure was crude, but would provide temporary protection from Crix Salon's chilling winds and nocturnal predators her scanners had warned her about. As she settled in for the night, wrapped in a thermal blanket, Vesper stared up at the unfamiliar constellations, feeling both awe and a deep, gnawing loneliness. Her thoughts drifted to her home planet of Lithora, its vibrant cities a stark contrast to this desolate landscape. But dwelling on what she had lost would not help her now. Steeling herself, she began to plan her next steps, determined to survive, and somehow find a way back home. Chapter 2. A new world morning on Crix Salon was unlike any morning Vespera had ever experienced. The light from the twin suns filtered through the dense clouds, casting a dim, eerie glow over the landscape. She emerged from her makeshift shelter, her bioluminescent skin adapting to the planet's light. Today, she needed to explore and understand more about her new environment. The terrain was rough and uninviting. Jagged rocks jutted from the ground like broken teeth, and the sparse vegetation seemed to defy the barren soil. Vespera walked carefully, her enhanced senses on high alert. Each step was calculated, her eyes scanning for signs of life or danger. She noted that the ground was littered with crystalline structures that sparkled under the weak sunlight, hinting at the planet's unique geology. As she ventured further from her crash site, Vespera encountered the first signs of native life. Strange bioluminescent plants pulsed with a faint glow, reacting to her presence. She approached one cautiously, her scanner in hand. The plant seemed to have a symbiotic relationship with the surrounding rocks, drawing nutrients from them. This discovery was encouraging. It meant there was a source of life-sustaining elements on Crix Salon, despite its harsh exterior. Continuing her exploration, Vespera came across a shallow stream of shimmering liquid. She knelt beside it, dipping her scanner into the fluid. The readings were fascinating. The stream contained high levels of minerals, some of which were crucial for her survival. Carefully, she collected samples to analyze later. This stream could be a vital resource. The silence of the planet was suddenly broken by a distant guttural roar. Vespera froze, her heart pounding. She quickly cloaked herself using a small device from her belt, blending into the rocky surroundings. From her hidden position, she saw a massive reptilian creature lumbering through the rocks. It had tough, scaled skin and moved with a predatory grace. The creature sniffed the air, its senses attuned to the slightest disturbances. Vesper held her breath, her hand on her weapon, ready to defend herself if necessary. After a tense few moments, the creature moved on, uninterested in her concealed presence. Shaken but unharmed, Vesper continued her exploration with increased caution. She found more signs of life, small skittering creatures that hid among the rocks, and strange floating orbs that emitted a soft hum. Each discovery was a piece of the puzzle that was Crix Salon, and Vespera meticulously recorded her findings. By the time the twin suns began to set, casting long shadows over the alien landscape, Vespera had a clearer picture of her surroundings. She returned to her shelter, her mind buzzing with the day's discoveries. The harsh beauty of Crix Salon was slowly revealing itself to her, and with each new piece of information, she felt a tiny bit more prepared to face the challenges ahead. As she settled in for the night, Vespera reviewed her notes and samples. The data was promising. Crix Salon, despite its dangers, held the potential for survival. She allowed herself a moment of hope, thinking of the day she might find a way off this planet. But for now, her focus was clear: learn, adapt, and survive. The alien world around her was a formidable adversary, but Vespera was determined to overcome it. Chapter 3: Unexpected Meeting. As dawn broke on Crix Salon, Vespera resumed her exploration, driven by the need to understand her surroundings fully. The twin suns cast an otherworldly light across the landscape, making the crystalline structures glint like precious gems. Today, her goal was to map the area further from her crash site and search for more resources. She moved with caution, her scanner in hand, cataloging every new discovery. The alien flora and fauna continued to amaze her. She found a cluster of plants that seemed to react to sound, their leaves vibrating when she spoke. Intrigued, she spent several minutes documenting their behavior, adding to her growing database of Crix Salon's life forms. As she ventured deeper into unfamiliar territory, she noticed something out of place. A series of evenly spaced footprints disrupted the otherwise undisturbed ground. They were unlike any she had seen before. Larger, more deliberate. Curiosity piqued, Vespera followed the trail, her senses heightened. The trail led her to a narrow gorge. Carefully, she descended into the shadowy depths, using her bioluminescent skin to light her way. At the bottom, she found remnants of a campsite, discarded equipment, a makeshift shelter, and most surprisingly, a human figure. The man was engrossed in examining a rock formation, his back turned to her. He was tall and athletic, with dark hair and a determined expression. Vespera's heart raced. It had been so long since she had seen another intelligent being. She approached slowly, not wanting to startle him. "Hello," she called out softly, her voice echoing slightly in the confined space. The man spun around, his eyes widening in surprise. For a moment, they simply stared at each other. Then he lowered his tools and smiled, a warm, disarming smile that eased Vespera's apprehensions. "Hi there," he replied. "I'm Julian. You must be the one who crashed a few days ago. I saw the smoke from your ship." Vespera nodded, relieved to find someone who spoke her language. "Yes, I'm Vespera. My ship. It didn't make it. I've been trying to survive and learn about this planet." Julian approached, his gaze curious and friendly. "Well, you're not alone anymore. I'm part of a geological survey team studying Crix Salon's unique features. I was separated from my group during a storm. I've been trying to find them ever since." The relief of finding another person quickly turned into a collaborative effort. Vespera and Julian exchanged stories and shared their knowledge of the planet. Julian was fascinated by Vespera's advanced technology and alien biology, while Vespera found Julian's geological expertise invaluable. Together, they began to search for Julian's team, moving cautiously through the treacherous terrain. Julian's knowledge of the planet's geological structures helped them avoid potential dangers, while Vespera's technology provided insights into the flora and fauna they encountered. As they worked side by side, a bond began to form between them. Julian admired Vespera's resilience and intelligence, while Vespera was drawn to Julian's bravery and kindness. They shared stories of their worlds, finding comfort in their growing connection amidst the alien landscape. One evening, as they set up camp under the twin suns' fading light, Vespera felt a warmth she hadn't experienced since the crash. Julian had managed to start a small fire, using materials he found during their trek. They sat close together, the fire casting flickering shadows on their faces. Julian looked at Vespera, his eyes reflecting the firelight. "You know, I was starting to lose hope of ever finding my team. Meeting you has given me new strength. We'll get through this together." Vespera smiled, feeling a surge of gratitude and affection. "I feel the same, Julian. With you, I don't feel so alone anymore." Their journey was far from over, but together, they faced the challenges of Crix Salon with renewed determination and the comfort of newfound companionship. The harsh landscape was still a formidable adversary, but Vespera and Julian had each other, and that made all the difference. Chapter 4. Alliance formed. The days on Crix Salon were long and demanding, but with Julian by her side, Vespera felt a renewed sense of purpose. Together they navigated the treacherous landscape, combining their unique skills to ensure their survival. Julian's geological expertise complemented Vespera's advanced technology, creating a powerful alliance. They decided to establish a more permanent base camp. Using materials from both the remnants of Vespera's ship and Julian's survey equipment, they constructed a sturdy shelter. It was a blend of alien technology and human ingenuity, a symbol of their collaboration. The shelter provided much-needed protection from Crix Salon's unpredictable weather and the nocturnal predators that roamed the landscape. During the day, they ventured out to explore and gather resources. Vespera's scanner proved invaluable in identifying safe water sources and edible plants. Julian's knowledge of the planet's geology helped them avoid unstable ground and locate mineral-rich areas. Together, they mapped the area, marking significant landmarks and potential hazards. One afternoon, while exploring a rocky outcrop, Julian made an exciting discovery. He found a vein of iridescent crystals embedded in the rock face. "These crystals are unlike anything I've ever seen," he said, examining them closely. "They could have unique properties that might be useful." Vespera's curiosity was piqued. She carefully extracted a few samples and analyzed them with her scanner. "These crystals are fascinating. They contain a high concentration of energy-storing compounds. We could use them to power some of my ship's systems." Julian grinned. "That's great news. Let's gather as many as we can and bring them back to camp." Working together, they extracted a substantial amount of the crystals and transported them back to their base. Vesper spent the next few days integrating the crystals into her technology. The results were promising. The crystals provided a stable energy source, allowing her to reactivate several key systems, including a small communication device. "This could be our lifeline," Vespera explained to Julian, her excitement palpable. "If we can boost the signal, we might be able to contact your team or even my home planet." Julian's eyes lit up. "That's fantastic. Let's get to work on it." As they toiled side by side, their bond grew stronger. They shared stories of their pasts, their hopes, and their fears. Vespera spoke of Lithora's vibrant cities and advanced technology, while Julian described Earth's diverse landscapes and cultures. Their differences were vast, yet they found common ground in their shared experiences and mutual respect. One evening, after a long day of work, they sat outside their shelter, watching the twin suns set. The sky turned a deep shade of purple, the crystals in the landscape shimmering in the fading light. Vespera turned to Julian, her eyes reflecting the colors of the sunset. "I never thought I'd find someone I could connect with on such a deep level, especially on an alien planet." Julian smiled, his gaze warm and affectionate. "I feel the same way, Vespera. You've shown me a world I never imagined, and I'm grateful for every moment we've spent together." As the days turned into weeks, their teamwork and growing affection became the foundation of their survival. They faced numerous challenges: extreme weather, hostile creatures, and the ever-present threat of scavengers. But they tackled each obstacle together. Their alliance was not just one of convenience, but of genuine connection and mutual support. One night, as they lay under the stars, Vespera felt a deep sense of contentment. Despite the hardships, she had found something precious on Crix Salon: love and companionship with Julian. Their journey was far from over, but with Julian by her side, she felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would conquer Crix Salon and find a way home, their bond growing stronger with each passing day.